Throughout the years, many great games have been released across a wide range of consoles, but which games have actually sold the most copies? Today we'll be having a little look at the 10 best selling video games of all time as of February 2019 according to the great and completely accurate website, Wikipedia. Anyway, let's find out whether these games deserve to make their creators so much money. Starting off the list is Wii Sports Resort, which has sold over 33 million copies on Nintendo Wii. This game was released on June 25th, 2009 and was at some point shipped with the console when buying it. Probably why it sold so many copies, to be honest. Hasn't exactly got the greatest gameplay, although it was well received by some critics, gaining an average rating of 80%. Wii Sports Resort was made and developed by Nintendo as a sequel to the great original Wii Sports, and it was the first title to use the Wii Motion Plus, which also came along with the game. It contained a collection of 15 sports games, some of them being improved from Wii Sports to support the use of the Motion Plus controller, some of them being completely new. Wii Sports may not be on the same level as many other games on this list, but to many people it was the first game that they actually played. Anyone could easily grasp the controls, and in general it was actually a lot of fun to play when playing with friends or family. Saying that, the sports games were bloody torture. Mario Kart Wii, the best racing game of all time. This game was the one game which everyone who owned a Wii had played and enjoyed, no matter how old you were. It has sold over 37 million copies on the Wii since its release over 10 years ago in April 2008, and was also developed and published by Nintendo. Mario Kart Wii was the sixth installment of the Mario Kart franchise. Like the games before it, you would race as one of the many Mario characters around a familiar course based on the locations from the Super Mario world. If you wanted, you could play on your own as you master the courses and play through the 8 cups on the various difficulties. The real fun came in when you went up against your friends. Either through the battling minigames or race courses, you could set up tournaments and find out who really was the best. The game also gave you multiple choices on how you wanted to play, the best being the steering wheel. Even the music in this game was great, and that is why it deserves to be one of the best selling games of all time. Super Mario Bros. Is probably the most iconic video game ever to be made, and it kicked off the popularity of the Mario franchise. Originally released all the way back in 1985, Super Mario Bros. Was a successor to the arcade game Mario Bros., which was made 2 years before it. The game was released across multiple platforms, but most notably the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES for short. As of this point in time, it has sold around 43 million copies and can still be bought and played through the Nintendo eShop if you're interested. In the game, which has been credited for reviving the gaming industry after the 1983 crash, he plays the mushroom-eating man himself, Mario, and if someone else is playing with you, they take control of his brother Luigi. In the 2D platformer, your aim is to race your way through the Mushroom Kingdom to save the princess from Bowser, the main antagonist of the franchise. To this day, the game's had many sequels and spin-offs across loads of platforms including the Wii and DS, but none of them have sold more copies than Super Mario Bros. Although I wasn't around to play this game when it originally came out, I can see the impact that it's had on the gaming industry, and I'm sure if you ask the older generation, they will tell you how great the game was back in the day. The only people who probably hate this game are the speedrunners. Now, this is the one game which your parents bought and used on your Wii. I'm sure most of you watching probably didn't play this when you were younger, but apparently 43 million did, as that's how many copies of the game were sold. I guess you could say Nintendo done a great job in advertising this game along with the balance board as a fun way of exercising. The game consisted of smaller games, sort of like Wii Sports, that were to do with yoga, strength training, aerobics and balance. All of these were designed to get families exercising together, and many health groups supported this. In fact, it was even used by some doctors to help the elderly with their postures. There's not much more to say about Wii Fit Plus either, besides it being an improved version of the previous game with a few more features. Overall, it's not the most fun game, but it gets people moving, I guess, so it's not too bad. Pokemon is one of my favourite gaming franchises of all time. Since I was a kid, I played and watched Pokemon non-stop. In 2007, when I was only 5 years old, I played Pokemon Diamond for the first time on my DS. Although I had no clue what I was doing, and I'm pretty sure it took me months just to get past the first gym, I do remember loving it so much that I went and watched the TV show. After that, almost every day when I got home from school, I put on the Diamond and Pearl series. As I got older, I actually learned how to play the games properly and eventually got to these games. My favourite of the original being Red, mainly due to Charles. I've been on the front since he is the best. These games have now sold over 47.5 million copies since their original release in Japan in 1996. The first installment of the Pokemon franchise was released on the Game Boy, but can now, like many other classics, be bought through the eShop if you wanted to play them again. Every kid has heard of Pokemon, and for most of us it was our first look into the world of RPGs. From the classics to today, Game Freak and Nintendo have done a great job in keeping the series fresh, which can be seen through the popular Pokemon Go and the Let's Go games over the past couple of years, introducing a whole new generation to the games. They are some of the best games of all time, and they deserve to sell so well. PUBG is a fairly new game compared to the others on this list, and to be honest, I was surprised to see it so high up. Don't get me wrong, I don't exactly think this game is bad or anything, and I knew it was popular, just didn't think that it was 50+ million copies sold popular. Now on multiple platforms ranging from consoles to even phones, it was originally fully released on PC in December 2017, and it done its best to capitalise on the Battle Royale genre. In this game, 100 players would drop into the map, search for loot, and fight out until there was only one player or team left standing. Although critics agreed the game was generally fun, they did also say there were many technical flaws. PUBG also played a big part in the esports scene, with huge tournaments being played with massive prize pools. Some people complain that these types of games are unfair due to it not being fully skill based, as you could win a game based on the loot you got, even if you were bad. But as a whole, it was fun to play and watch. Nowadays, games like Fortnite have taken some of the players away from PUBG, but I guess the game did popularise the Battle Royale genre, and overall it's not that bad. I could think of many other Battle Royale games which are a lot worse than PUBG. The first of the two Wii Sports games. I've already spoken about the other one, and basically this is the same with a few less games and no support from the Wii Motion Plus. Not really much more to add that I haven't already said, besides the fact that Nintendo actually have the highest amount of most sold games, with 6 of the 10 on this list being published by them. Anyway, this game sold over 82 million copies. I know that doesn't really hold up today, it was fun to play at the time. If you ask me, I like this game more than the other one anyway. Kicking off the top 3 and selling over 100 million copies is hands down one of the best games of all time, Grand Theft Auto 5. GTA is probably one of the biggest and most controversial gaming franchises of all time, and even with its 18+ rating, every kid has made their parents buy it for them. Originally released in 2013 on the old gen consoles, it was ramped up and put on the next gens over a year later. Since then, this close to masterpiece creation has somehow stayed relevant and been continuously updated thanks to the inclusion of GTA Online, which came out shortly after its original release. Even if you weren't into GTA Online, you could still have endless fun through the campaign, in which you could switch between 3 characters for the first time in the series. You could literally do whatever you wanted. Run around and massacre innocent people, race around the city, or skydive into the army camp and steal a jet. Of course, people try to put this game down saying it causes violence in children, but we all know it's not true. I don't know how Rockstar are gonna top this, but I'm just praying they don't tone it down due to the controversies. This game deserves to be among the best. Before I get into this one, I have spoke about this before in another video where I compare it to a new game called Hytale, which is coming out, so you can check that out if you want. Anyway, 150 million plus copies sold. I mean, this game has really became popular. Starting off as a small sandbox game created by Mojang on PC, it has now grown into one of the biggest games of the past decade. Children and adults alike endlessly play this across almost every system around. Everyone has heard of Minecraft or played it, no matter where you are from. There's just something about being dropped into a simple blocky world, gathering resources and playing with friends that feels so satisfying. Whether you're relaxing or playing in your own world or fighting hundreds of other players in minigames, you could really never get that bored. From Minecon to the YouTube community to even lessons in school, you will find Minecraft everywhere. The popularity of this game is insane, but not as insane as the best selling game of all time. I'm sure you all know what it is that's coming. The gameplay is perfect, the music is immersive, and the graphics are so realistic it's quite frankly uncomfortable. Tetris is the best game of all time. Well, maybe not. But it has sold the most copies with 170 million plus sales as of this year. Tetris is the original arcade game. A simple puzzle game in which the player has to slot various blocky pieces in the best way they can. Once it gets to the top, you lose. Being released on the 6th of June 1984, Tetris can be played now on almost anything around. From VR to literally a Nokia brick, you can find it in almost anywhere you look. Nowadays the game's been remade and remastered to be slightly more enjoyable, but if it is played today, it is probably more for nostalgia than fun. Having said that, many people still try to beat the world records for the game, and the new Tetris effect is actually really immersive if you play it in the right way. No, Tetris isn't the best game of all time, but it had such a huge impact on the gaming industry that it cannot be overlooked. Well, there you have it. That's the best selling games of all time as of February 2019. Some games deserve to be here, whilst others maybe not so much, but you can't argue that they all didn't have some sort of impact on the gaming scene as a whole. From bringing people together to trying to live through a virtual character's life, these games have changed the lives of many people around the world. Who knows, maybe the list will change in a few years' time, but for now we don't really know what the next new Minecraft will be. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Thanks for watching. If you got this far, why not subscribe, leave a like and turn on notifications. Let me know what you think of these sort of videos in the comments below and I'll do my best to reply. If you want to check out another video of mine, you can click on the one suggested here. I'll see you all next time.